motivate yourself to get out to exercise? Okay, Mary, this is a trick question. First, I'm going to give you like my standard answer, which is think about how you're going to feel afterwards, not necessarily how you feel now. If we're really talking motivation, that's the best way. But here's the tricky part. I believe the answer is not to rely on motivation, not to rely on willpower at all when it comes to exercise. Now, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, Megan's telling me motivation is for the birds. No, don't worry. I still love motivation. It's Motivation Monday. I still do all my quotes and all my good stuff. But for exercise, we really can't rely on willpower because willpower lasts fleetingly. Willpower is very fleeting. So if you're only relying on your willpower, you're sitting on the couch, you have a tub of ice cream next to you, and you say, oh, I really should use my willpower to get up and go run 5 miles instead of sit here and eat that ice cream. It's not going to work. In the heat of the moment, your brain is wired for instant gratification, and that couch and ice cream sounds a lot better right then than going and running 5 miles. So we need to not rely on that motivation, that instantaneous willpower altogether, and instead make exercise a habit. So if we have really solidified habits, we don't have to rely on our willpower to get us out the door. There are several ways to do this. Make your decision before. So if I say, ooh, I'll wake up, I'll set my alarm for 5 a.m. tomorrow, and if I feel good, I'm going to exercise. What are the chances that I get out of bed? No chance, right? But if I have already made up my mind, ideally if I've signed up for a class or I have an accountability buddy going to meet me, something like that, and I say, when the alarm goes off, I will exercise. Not if I'm going to feel like it or if I feel good or if the sun's already risen or whatever. No, I will exercise when the alarm goes off, and then you don't give yourself a choice. The very first time you hit that snooze button, if you say, next week I'm going to start an exercise habit, if on Monday you start hitting the snooze button the first time, then you've broken that trust in yourself. You've given yourself permission to hit the snooze button over and over, and that always becomes an option that you rely on. So your willpower won't be that strong. But if instead you say, I will get up and exercise every time that alarm goes off at 5 p.m., it sounds simple, but that shift in your verbiage and your wording really does make a big difference. So I will do it. You make the decision before, and then you set yourself up for success. Some people like to sleep in their exercise clothes. I like to just lay them out right there. Like literally, it's like my toothbrush, and 2 feet away is my exercise clothes and my shoes and everything, so that I don't even think about it. I get out of bed, I drink a big glass of water, I brush my teeth, I put on my exercise clothes, and by that time I'm already dressed, and it's a lot easier to just go ahead and get out the door. Still not saying it's easy, but all these things we do to set ourselves up for success so we don't have to rely on willpower. So a few things that I mentioned in there: drink a big glass of water. If you're going to try to exercise, or not try, if you're going to exercise in the morning, first thing to do is drink a big glass of water. It'll make you feel energized. It'll get your metabolism going. It'll get those endorphins going even. It'll prep you for exercise. And of course you want to be hydrated too. Use the 5-minute rule. So if I'm really not feeling it, I've already decided I'm going to exercise. So I get in my clothes, I get out there, and I say, Megan, if you are still not feeling it in 5 minutes, you can turn around if I'm running, or you can, whatever, get off the elliptical or whatever. I don't know what you're doing, Mary, but give yourself the 5-minute rule. And I guarantee 90% of the time, once you've exercised for 5 minutes, you'll feel like you can keep going. It's that initial hump, those first couple steps, that are always the hardest. Let's see what else. Finding an accountability partner or signing up for classes where you'll be penalized if you don't show up. All these things, we do them so we don't rely on our willpower. We just set ourselves up for success so that we do have exercise as a habit. That's the very last thing. Think of this as something, it's kind of like affirmations. We say positive affirmations so that we can become the person who we want to be. We can become or we can achieve the goals that we've set out for ourselves. And we remind ourselves of that through affirmations. If you affirm to yourself, I am someone who exercises 3 times a week or whatever you want to do, and you start thinking of yourself as that person and even visualizing a little bit, how am I going to feel when I'm like all in my cycling kit and riding down the road, or I'm in my yoga clothes and I have just come out of a sweaty class. Or think of yourself as the person who exercises. Not, ooh, I aspire to be someone like that, or ooh, I'm such an imposter, I don't look good in my yoga pants, or whatever. Just think of yourself as that person who already exudes that confidence, that excitement, that aura of being an exerciser. You are that person, Mary, if you want to be, and I can tell you want to be from your question. So think of it in terms of I already do that. But the bottom line is whatever it takes for you, whether it's putting your alarm across the floor, signing up for a class where you'll be penalized, wearing your exercise clothes to bed, whatever it is, you have to set up a habit that makes it easy to do it, to just follow what you're supposed to do, what you want to do, instead of relying on your willpower in the heat of the moment, because that willpower is not going to last you.